Serenity is a legal thriller that focuses principally on a drug which I call Serenity in the book, manufactured by the fictional Upright Corporation of Ann Arbor, Michigan. The drug is intended to be a sedative to cause people to sleep more easily, but in the process of the marketing and development of the drug, they realize, they being the company, that it has some dangerous propensities. It causes people to murder other people as well as commit suicide with an alarming frequency. Jay Slater, who is the subject of the book, murders his wife after taking Serenity for 3 weeks. And the novel is essentially about all the legal machinations and shenanigans pulled by the drug industry to prevent the truth about Serenity from becoming public. Well, I've been trying lawsuits against the drug industry for almost 40 years, and it's kind of an amalgamation of several experiences I've had in that time period. What inspires me to write is the fact that there is always an element that is unknown about a sequence of events, particularly, for example, the marketing of drugs in our society. So I'm inspired to write now so that the truth can be known about the kind of negative things that are happening with drugs in our society. There are two lawyer writers who are outstanding and who I try to emulate in terms of the consistency of my writing. The first is Scott Turow out of Chicago, who's a practicing trial lawyer, who's a wonderful writer and has many books that are just fun to read and very enlightening for other lawyers. Then there's John Grisham, who is a great storyteller, although he does take some liberties about the scope of trial practices from time to time. A third author that comes to mind is Elmore Leonard, who is right from here in Michigan, and I admire him for the ability to develop characters in this really significant, meaningful way. My biggest fan is my wife, Mary Ellen. She's also my biggest critic. She's stood by me all these years and edited and made suggestions and read and reread and listened to me ad nauseum talk about my books. But she's been by my side. Well, they'd expect to find out some ideas about how drugs are made, how they're developed, how they're tested, and how they're marketed, as well as their interaction with the Food and Drug Administration. I think one of the most common misperceptions that I've run across in my trying of lawsuits is that jurors believe that the FDA somehow tests drugs, and that's simply not true. They are obligated, as a matter of law, to accept what a drug company tells them about their drugs as true, and they evaluate the safety of the drug on that basis. And therein lies the danger. If the drug company is not being ethically correct about its representations of safety, then a whole lot of people can die as a result. I've learned that by being steady and consistent in my writing, I can actually formulate a series of events, albeit fictionally or nonfiction, exactly like I want to convey the message to my readers. My goals are to make sure that the public understands that what is going on with big pharmaceutical corporations is not necessarily for the safety and the benefit of the American public. When drugs are marketed with the profit motive being the most important thing from the corporation's perspective, there are always going to be shortcuts taken, and those shortcuts wind up killing a lot of people. To never say no to an interview.